Lenny, how are you? I tried to call, but
Forget it, big guy. There's no time. Mr. Frost is trying to take over the orphanage with his goon squad. He's got his pet scientists everywhere. He's trying to get in the vault, and when he does, he's going to use the kids to mine the crystals.
Second class cinema. Wonder where Second class cinema.
Welcome to Second Class Cinema, the show where we watch a B movie and immediately discuss. I'm Tom. I'm here with Brittany, Eric, and Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
Hey guys,
Welcome
I'm back
back.
again. You guys can't get rid of me. I swear.
We don't want
Yep.
to.
We tried padlocking the door, and your neighbors just let it in. So, I mean, what can we do?
I mean, we did want to, and Eric described why we tried. So, yes, thanks again for coming on to the show, Tyler.
Of course.
So today, this lovely Saturday afternoon in December, we watched Santa with Muscles starring Hulk Hogan.
It's the second Hulk Hogan movie we've been on for.
We've done 2 Hogan movies, and Tyler's been on for both.
If you guys can't tell, I am a pro wrestling fan.
Aren't we all, except for Brittany?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brittany could not hate it more.
It's so good. So, yeah, it was my pick. I wanted to pick something that was Christmas related. So I picked Santa with Muscles. I wanted to watch it a long time ago. It's on IMDb's top 100 worst rated movies on the site. Number 74,
I
I
can't
believe.
imagine why.
I can both understand and not understand why. Because this is an extremely watchable film.
It's true. It was very watchable if you have eyes. It was good. Eyes and ears. So I guess I'll go into what it's about.
Tell us what this
Please.
movie's about.
It's about a millionaire who gets amnesia, thinks he's Santa.
Okay, do go on.
Oh, that's it.
Okay,
Right?
good.
Oh no, hold up. He saves an
he
orphanage.
has to save
Right.
an orphanage
Okay,
from the
what-
clutches of a ruthless businessman.
Of Ebner Frost in town. He's a guy who wants to get rid of an orphanage because he needs something that's underneath it.
Yeah. You know, that old standby, an orphanage that's being taken over by a businessman, still being used in 1996.
Really relatable stuff. You know how it all goes down. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's basically what it's about. And Hulk Hogan's awesome. And I wanted to know the timeline for Hogan's professional wrestling career and his Hollywood career. So I'm just going to quickly explain. In May of 1996 is when this movie was shot. It then came out that fall in November of 1996. In the middle of shooting this movie and it coming out, Hulk Hogan returned to professional wrestling, back into WCW, and he was a part of the NWO, and he turned heel. And then he made a kids movie come out. And I thought that was fascinating because, like, why would you turn this guy into a bad guy and then release a kids movie? Can anyone answer that?
Probably because this movie was shot for $60 and it didn't matter.
Well,
It probably didn't have a theatrical release time.
yes, it did. It had to have. It had to have.
Had to have.
Yes, it did.
a
Dude,
bold
it could have been a
statement.
Christmas. Most Christmas movies go direct to TV.
I think this hit the theater. I think it did. I think it had an opening weekend, and it didn't do well.
And that's all it had.
It had its weekend, and
They
that was
pulled
it.
real
It
quick,
showed
man.
Friday night, Saturday morning, it was gone.
Okay, you clowns, cut the crap.
Let's start with successes then. What did this movie do right?
I'm going to be utterly useless because I did not write down any successes nor failures.
I didn't either.
Me neither.
Tyler?
I had a few successes.
Okay.
I thought it was, it was definitely fun,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and it brought. It wasn't a typical Christmas story. During the 90s, we got overfed typical Christmas movies.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was like not so much a Christmas movie as it was a kids movie. It had that Christmas kids balance. It wasn't a Santa's coming, you got to be good. Here's a bunch of stuff that happens. Like it was.
Here's a Christmas miracle coming up, guys.
Yeah. No,
I mean, it did take like the businessman who has no real cares trope and like made him find the warmth in his own heart.
Aw.
That old Jim.
That old
But
chestnut
the
on
way
a
they
roasting
went
fire.
about it was totally unusual.
Yeah, and it wasn't like shot in a Christmas town. There's no snow. It was very.
It was L.A.
It was the
Yeah.
desert.
Shot in May in L.A.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no Christmas magic in it, so I don't know. I mean,
I
It
think
was
they
a
tried
Christmas
though. I
ghost
think
town.
that's a failure. I think they tried with the church thing.
yeah, we could. I guess we'll get to that part. So let's stay positive for the time being, and I guess it was a fun movie. It was a kids movie. They did a lot of wacky stuff that I think kids would like. I laughed out
A
loud.
ton of wacky. I laugh. It's absurd. It's the height of absurdity. I laughed a lot.
There was a lot of good acting in it too. Like, yes, there was a lot of poor acting in it, but there was. I felt good about Lenny and Ebner Stark, Ebner Frost.
Oh, Ed Begley.
Yeah, Ed Begley Jr. and Don Stark.
Yeah.
Both in this movie.
Yeah.
They did all right, I guess.
I felt good about both those guys. I felt they both did their job.
Yeah. No, the one played like the comic relief side character guy, and one was the evil mastermind behind blowing up this orphanage.
I love that everyone in this movie is the most loathsome person imaginable.
I was like, what is going on with this town? Like, everyone is robbing people and stealing money. The cops are nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
Unless there's a high-speed chase or someone speeding, in which case the cops are on it. But when Frost's goons are hooking up ice cream trucks and ripping down statues in front of churches,
And running down innocent people.
the police are...
Nowhere to be found.
No.
The 3 policemen that inhabit this town.
Yeah. So, was this a successful Christmas movie? Like, December rolls around.
No,
I'm
No,
gonna
absolutely not.
pop this in and have a good time.
it's a successful kids movie. It's not a successful Christmas movie.
No,
Okay. Well,
not at all.
what's the distinction then?
It just simply does not look like Christmas.
Yeah.
None of the characters feel like Christmas.
The
Yeah.
only thing that is Christmas about it is like the part
Yep.
and him
Is-
thinking he's Santa Claus.
Yeah, Santa.
Yeah.
I mean, it could take place literally any other time of the year, and it would almost be fine. He could just be any other random guy thinking he got amnesia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then who would he think he was?
He could think he was like Superman or
Yeah,
That's a
there
good
you go.
point.
like
a
any
superhero.
superhero, like Dave Dragon.
Damn it! You beat me to it!
I'm sorry.
You could think he's Dave Dragon. Okay.
I do have one more success. I know
Okay.
we're gonna move on to failures, but I thought
You can feel the transition coming.
I wanted to get one more in there. The bad guys were truly bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in kids movies, you need that. So I felt good about that.
Yeah.
It was like they were, but they weren't. Like the things they were doing
Yeah.
were like, "Oh, you're a bad guy."
They weren't good bad guys, but they were bad.
They were
But then they
childish.
never like took it all the way.
Yeah, they were like non-threatening.
I was like,
villains.
"All right, I see that you have the worst of intentions, and you're going to do absolutely nothing about it."
Well,
They were always doing bad things.
That's true.
Like regardless of how severe
I
they were.
fucking hated that fart guy. I wanted him dead.
So there were there were 4 main like bad
Goons.
guy lackeys for Ebner Frost. One of which was like his Dr. Science sidekick.
Because he was so afraid of germs and getting sick.
Yeah,
He had
so-
a doctor 24/7.
So and he was stupid.
He did karate.
He did karate. Yeah,
Everyone in this movie
That's
knows
his
karate.
power.
yeah. Everyone in the movie knew karate. And
Everyone
then-
knows how to do sweet bow staff shit. Because there's giant candy canes around. And what else are you going to do with a giant candy cane?
besides treat it like a staff.
Exactly.
That happened at least twice.
Yeah, and then he had his other
Well, the other
three
let's address
freelance
the other
goons.
goons. Okay, yeah. And then there were 3 goons other than that, and there was so there's a guy who was obsessed with methane gas and farts.
He had like a fart tank.
Got a fart machine, and he would just want to like make people smell farts.
Oh my god, I
Well,
hate him.
which of us can't relate to that?
He
I
is
understand.
the living worst person alive.
So he's terrible. He kind of looks like Walter White.
With like a terrible overbite.
Terrible buck teeth.
And then there was Electric Lady.
She had like electric glove hands
She had electric glove hands
and wore a shiny silver skirt.
and blew up
Because
roses.
obviously.
Yeah, and so she did stuff. And then
He's just losing his shit over this.
Well, I'm just waiting for him to get to the geologist where he says
why I saved him for last.
where Tom's gonna say, I don't know what he does.
He brushes things gently.
Yeah, there was a geologist who I don't know. He wore a safari hat.
Yeah,
he
and a
was-
safari jacket.
And a safari jacket.
Safari
Still don't
pants.
know what the hell the pack was.
He was dressed like the guy from Jumanji.
And he was just like a weaselly, sniveling guy who was there to do bad stuff. and his I don't
He literally did nothing except open the vault door.
He
Yeah.
did nothing in his capacity as a geologist.
Yeah, and he was like talking about fossils, and I was like,
That's an archaeologist.
I know, I was like, I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Yeah, like they were torturing some guy in this backyard, right?
Because he owed him like $40.
Torturing. They were not torturing.
Yes, they were. They were making him smell farts.
The geologist literally tickled him with his brush.
He got tickled.
Fart sprayed.
He had to smell farts, and then they were like poking, and then they made a rose blow up in front of his face.
Yeah, the lady was like tickling him with her electric gloves.
Okay.
It was very brutal.
So it was the worst of times here in Lakeville, which is where
Best
the
of times. It was the worst of times.
So those are our goons, and they were pretty bad.
Yeah, he told that guy he would make an interesting fossil. I
Yeah.
was like, that's
You
a
don't
lie.
turn. Wait,
That's not how fossils work.
You just got like 10 million years to kill, or what?
So we said this movie was a successful kids movie, an unsuccessful Christmas movie. Why wasn't it a good Christmas movie?
It didn't really invoke the spirit of Christmas. Like, they went over the Santa rules, which was like help people in need.
Are those
I
Santa
feel
rules
like-
real, or did she make those up?
She made those up. Those
Oh,
were
yeah.
movie bullshit. I've never heard of any Santa rules.
Me either.
But those are pretty much just general humanity rules.
I was going
Like,
to say, we're all on board with those.
Yeah.
the golden rules.
It doesn't have to be a special day, which I guess that was the last
Yeah.
rule, which is make it last year round. But I just felt like that was BS. There was really no Christmas spirit in this movie, I felt.
There wasn't like any classic Christmas music.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a couple of plot points where like they inserted music. I have no idea if they just made that shit up.
I feel like they just
Like-
used it as like a jokey plot line, like a plot progressor. I don't know.
Well, even like later on in the film, when Blake comes out of his amnesia, he doesn't feel like he's Santa Claus anymore. So he just flat out tells him, "I'm just Blake."
Yeah.
And I was like, that doesn't feel Christmassy to me.
halfway
Just
through
want
the
him
movie,
to embrace it and be like, "Fuck yeah, I'm Santa."
Yeah, no.
Rock
Santa with
this
muscles,
bitch.
bitch.
Yeah, halfway through they just abandoned Christmas. They just and then
Yeah, he woke up from his like reverse amnesia and it was Christmas Day, and then they like never mentioned it again.
Yeah, there was like the news report, and that's about it. We're like, oh yeah, it's Christmas.
His butler was like, "Happy Christmas," and then he left, and that
Yeah.
was it.
yeah.
No presents, no caroling, no snow,
None.
no tree.
If you can't have a Christmas movie without snow. I'm sorry. Even when they have Christmas movies that take place in California, the Christmas miracle is always that, oh my God, it snows.
There was not a single tree.
There was not a single miracle.
No trees. But this, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe because in May, right? How Christmassy can you really feel in May when you're phoning it in?
How Christmassy can you make it feel when you utterly don't care at all?
You're getting paid to make a movie. I think you should put a little bit of effort into it.
That's true. But so from what I understand, this movie barely grossed not even $500,000. Like,
Which is impressive because the budget was $60, as we discussed.
well, I'm assuming that this movie didn't make back what they paid Hulk Hogan to be in it. So
Wow.
that's not good. That's just my thought. But what else caused this movie to fail for us?
Opening shot had the cameraman shadow in it.
Oh my God, it did. I forgot about that. We had a technical flaw. Hard shadow, camera guy, right on the side of a house. It was a beautiful thing. Good eye, Tyler, because you're the one who pointed it out.
And then there was a guy standing behind him, and you saw that guy too.
Well, they need a spotter when they do camera work like that.
Yeah.
Walking around.
I thought that's how the movie was going to go the rest of the way. Like, we're going to see a bunch of shit. It's going to be awful.
Yeah. No, it really didn't.
It started off really well, though.
Yeah.
I feel like the setup was just kind of half-assed, and there wasn't a lot of explanation or understanding of what was driving things. Like, there was no transition scenes. I feel like people were just making decisions and doing things,
Yeah.
and it didn't really lend to a proper storyline playing out for me.
Yeah.
It felt
The town was empty. Like, everyone was awful. Nothing made sense.
It felt poorly written.
Wicked poorly written.
And like they stuck to the script too. It also felt like that too. Like,
I
where
mean-
nobody had any free reign to do anything. Nobody could do their job because the director was like,
Well,
No, we're gonna. It's written here.
It says here
Yeah.
that we do this, so we're doing this.
Listen, Hulkster, I know you're a professional wrestler and you cut promos all the time. Stick to the script.
Yeah, Hulk's promos were never amazing.
I was gonna say, like, as in terms of professional wrestlers, he never really had much charisma, like, in front of the camera, did he?
Well, he has a ton of charisma, but he doesn't speak well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was okay. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say, like, in terms of wrestlers, usually when you see a wrestler in a movie, they usually do a pretty solid job.
Yeah, knowing what they are. But he also had to carry this movie. So, I mean, for a guy who's definitely not an actor,
For sure.
getting thrusted into Hollywood. And I also have a question. Do you think that he came into WCW as Hollywood Hulk Hogan? Do you think this movie helped put that image in his head? Like, I am so Hollywood. I am the Santa with muscles.
Yeah.
Is this Santa?
Yeah.
With Santa.
I am the Santa.
Please have the nuggets. I am Santa.
Well, you said that this was right before he became Hollywood.
Yeah,
Hulk
so
Hogan,
he
right?
became Hollywood, I guess, in July of 1996. Bash at the Beach, WCW. He came out, NWO, I'm Hollywood Hulk Hogan now.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is coming literally right off of this movie.
I fucking hate wrestling.
I was reading up on this, and
People just wake up one day and they're like, nah, I'm going to be a bad guy now.
They don't really make that call. They,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
show up and they're like, we're turning you heel.
McMahon said so.
Yeah. But anything else? Maybe was this movie unsuccessful from a kid's aspect at all?
I have a question.
All right.
Oh, okay. Well, we're taking this route.
Should this movie be remade starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Of course.
I would say every movie starring Hulk Hogan should be remade with The Rock.
Yeah. How great would that be?
Let's just correct all those mistakes.
Last match, this.
Well,
Get it going.
if Hulk Hogan was in last match, that movie would have been much better.
So much better. I
But
agree.
I never want to talk about it again.
And this is the last time we'll ever talk about it.
Nope.
Please, God, let it be true.
It's the bar for terrible.
I don't know if I want to watch this get. I mean, maybe it wouldn't be too bad if they remade something similar to this.
I don't
I mean,
feel
if
like
they
it
made
needs.
it good.
I don't feel like it needs to be though.
No, it doesn't at all.
I-
It does anything. I mean, if
Some
they're-
things do. Some things.
I mean,
do.
they remake
Like last
awesome
match.
movies. Why would they not remake something not so awesome
Well, that's our.
and make it awesome?
I like the premise that Tyler had proposed, where it's like he becomes like Superman or something to that effect instead. You could do a lot more with that. You wouldn't have to shoehorn like the Christmas idea, and
Yeah.
you could like really let the plot breathe a little more.
Yeah, and also, what was with like? I feel like this was like, I don't know if it's just like a kid's device, but in the 90s, I feel like there were so many. I have amnesia. I don't know who I am anymore. Clunk on the head. I've lost amnesia. Like, that's probably really downplaying a very serious illness.
I'd like to meet somebody who actually has gone through amnesia and get their thoughts on all these movies during the 90s.
Well, they wouldn't remember anything about it.
I feel like it's just a driver.
No, but like, no, like, is their life affected in the same
Yeah.
way that these, like, because they, like Tom says, they use it all the time.
I feel like
I
it's
don't
just
think-
an easy cop-out driving force for an unbelievable plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I feel like it mostly happened on like television shows where one of our characters would forget who he was, and everyone was struggling the whole time. Maybe they enjoyed it at first, but at the end they're like, "We miss the real person," and then he'd clunk his head and he'd be back, and everyone would be happy again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so and also with this, he lost his amnesia by falling into a garbage truck.
Yeah.
Don't buy it.
He didn't even hit his head.
He didn't even hit his head, and yeah, okay.
Unless you well, he saw his like okay, so the character Blake is like a bodybuilder, and he made his fortune off of bodybuilding, and like he's got his face and name plastered all over all sorts of like garbagey products, and like he sees the label next to his face, and I wonder if that's where. That's why like his
It all
memories
clicked.
are covered all start coming back to him.
Mm-hmm. But so my thing with that was it wasn't an actual picture. It was a cartoon drawing.
I recognize the Hulkster anywhere.
And B, like, I feel like he saw it before because they had the cereal box right in the middle of the damn table at the
God.
orphanage.
yeah, but
Well, here's
Yeah,
the
why
problem.
does the
Everyone
guy-
in this movie is a simpleton.
He tries to hide the cereal box by dumping all the cereal over his bacon and eggs.
he is Lenny at the table.
Yeah.
Who Lenny's driving force in this movie is to rob this man blind and tell him he's Santa Claus so he can take his money.
And it keeps failing because he doesn't have his fingerprints to use at the ATM. Because
Only for $50 though.
For $50. Oh my
all he
god.
wanted.
$50 is like the height of richness in Lakeville.
yeah.
It's crazy. I don't even know if they're actually from Lakeville, but they went to the Lakeville Mall, so I'm calling this place
Fair
Lakeville. Okay. Anything else before we want to talk about some favorite parts?
Oh, this movie stars a 11-year-old Mila Kunis thing.
Best actor in the movie.
Yeah, she wasn't in it as much, like lines wise.
Every other kid who sucked was in it way more than she.
Yeah, that's weird.
What? You're a competent
She wa-
actress? No, stand in the back and be quiet.
Yeah, she didn't really do anything for the actual plot of the film, which is kind of weird.
Oh, except for that she designed Santa's sweet sleeveless muscle shirt.
Yeah.
vest.
Well, and she was the one who knew what the crystals were.
Yeah, that's true.
Which the crystals are what was hidden underneath the orphanage that the Ebner Frost wanted to have lots of money.
Yeah,
I'm not
crystals that house their own electricity.
Yeah.
and explode when you drop them, but not when you use them in a sword fight.
Yep, those crystals.
You know,
Those are the
science.
ones. So speaking of crystal sword fight, anyone have any favorite parts they want to bring up? Anything?
Oh God.
This isn't a favorite part in the context of the movie, but pretty much, I think it was about 30 seconds in, I heard Tom say, "Oh no," and I know we're going to be in it for a great experience when that happens. And it's not the first time it's happened.
Well, if we want to start at the beginning, when Hulk first dressed as Santa and he ran into that dad and kid in the hallway, and the kid had a super long Christmas list, and he's like, "Do you have a minute?" And he was like, "Fax me, you little brat."
Oh,
I was like, "That's great."
that's awful.
I thought
It's a sick 90s burn.
I thought that was terrible.
That was so bad.
I thought it was so funny.
Oh no! And then he got really aggressive with the dad and shoved him. He was a jerk. Blake was a jerk.
Yeah, he was a prick.
Yeah.
He was like a giant, obnoxious man-child.
Yeah.
He changed so early too. That's the worst part about it, right? Because he didn't. It didn't take the whole movie for him to change. It took 12 minutes.
Yeah.
As soon as he became Santa, he was like,
He was different.
Yeah, but the change was a falsified change through amnesia, and then you're hoping at the end that it actually had a big impact on his life. But it was weird because he remembered everything that happened during his amnesia. He was like, "Oh wait, I'm this person. Oh my god, I gotta save these kids. Holy shit!" But I'm Blake now
yeah.
because that's how amnesia works.
Yeah, it was like we had a character arc just pressed into one head smack. And then
Well, yeah, because I don't think when you get your memory back, you don't instantly forget about everything that happened when you had amnesia.
Yeah, but it was also clear to him.
It's not
just
one or
upon-
the other.
Yeah, but you wake up and it's just this clear path. It's like, oh shit, that's right. I'm not Santa. Psst, whoops. And now I've got to save these kids.
common mistake.
The power of Christmas love.
Oh, is that what it was?
I have to help them now.
Okay. Anyone else?
I also loved when, Ron Howard.
Yeah, Ron Howard was in this movie.
When Clint Howard showed up at the end of his fucking burnt out police car
Yeah,
that had been hit with a rocket launcher.
Hold on. We should back up.
yeah.
The cops in
No,
this movie.
no.
No, we're backing up. Clint Howard. Clint Howard was in this movie as a police officer,
The
and
worst of all time.
he's a terrible police officer. And he was like, I think the worst thing for you to do in Clint Howard's eyes is be a fraudulent Santa.
Or
Because
speed.
Speeding.
Oh,
Yeah.
because
If
then
you
you're a
speed,
terrorist.
you're a terrorist, and you're gonna get shot with a rocket launcher.
Or shotguns.
But if you're a fraudulent Santa, he is going to hunt you down. And that's exactly what he did.
Don't worry about the actual supervillains that are casing the entire town.
No, let's take out this terrorist Santa Claus. And so he did that, and it was good.
And then his car got hit by a rocket launcher.
And then
Which is Brittany's favorite part.
which is what Clint
so
Howard
good.
contributed to.
Yeah, his car getting hit with a rocket launcher wasn't so good as the fact that he drove a smoking husk of a police car
With the windshield wipers still going.
just like
On nothing.
crisped windshield wipers, no windshield, no roof. The whole car is just a smoking shell of black.
That's the success.
Yeah, that's
the
great.
The prop guy did a hell of a job.
Yeah,
to
it
make
was
that
awesome,
damn car.
and I laughed out loud when he rolled up. I was like, "That's fantastic."
The parts of this movie where it's like a living cartoon are the best parts.
Yeah, it served no purpose. Like you could have left that out easily, but I'm so glad that they didn't.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Favorite part. Anyone else? Any favorite parts?
I got a couple.
Tyler, what do you have?
All right, the Hulk versus large henchman with the goatee part.
Oh my god.
With a gigantic henchman, you're expecting a giant showdown, and it takes place in a church. and Hulk kicks a pew and it knocks the large henchman out, and that's it. That's the fight.
That's the fight.
But the best part is that before that, the henchman like ripped his shirt off.
Well, every
Yeah.
muscle, every guy with muscles in this movie has to take his shirt off at some point, or you
Yeah.
have to see their muscles.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we need to
Movie
know how
with
strong
muscles.
they
I
are.
thought it was going to be a way better fight than that.
And
we
then-
were wrong.
the end where they're at Ebner Frost's mansion that becomes the new orphanage, and they look across
That was one of my
through
favorite
the
parts.
telescope, and they see
Yep.
all the bad guys.
And like Three Stooges prison outfit.
Yeah, so at the end of the movie,
Smashing rocks.
happy ending, they turn Frost's mansion into the new orphanage.
Where every
And-
kid in town winds up.
Yeah, so parents just gave their kids up for adoption, apparently, and this orphanage is full now instead of just having 3 kids in it. And they just have a random telescope set up on the lawn, and they all like gather around it and look through it, and it's pointed at the town prison, where they're just like in black and white striped jumpsuits, like bashing rocks.
I think they're all chained to each other too.
Yeah, it was
Of
like a
course they
chain
were.
gang moment. They were like channeling Looney Tunes on that one. That
Yeah.
was really perfect. I
Yeah.
love when there's just an ill-placed telescope.
Oh, that
In
happens
any
so
movie?
frequently.
It
Yeah.
does.
How often does
Actually,
that
the last movie we had you on for Stitches. Yes. the telescope in
That's
his
right.
house.
He was looking at the girl's bedroom. That's right.
happen? That's true. That is true. And I was also thinking, wasn't there one in Monster Squad too? But
Probably.
Can you
Yeah,
guys have
there
me
was.
over for a different fucking movie one time?
no, it's got to
Rudy
have
was
Hulk.
checking out the sister
What?
in Monster Squad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Anyone else favorite parts? Because that was one of mine. The telescope was absolutely one of mine. I wrote it down. But
Happens more often than you'd think.
The 2 ne'er-do-wells at the mall trying to steal the money from the orphanage in the most incompetent way
oh
possible.
my god. Okay.
This is total like cartoon logic. Like, so the orphanage is trying to raise money at the mall, and they have this giant collection bin. Like, it's this giant spherical like jar that people are throwing
Like a
money
fucking
into.
fish tank. Of
It's
money.
enormous. Yeah. And one of these guys just tries to slip it under his t-shirt and fails immediately, and it just shatters all over the ground. And we get into this extended fight scene where Blake is, as Santa, realizes he needs to stop these villains and beats the shit out of them in public, and the crowd is cheering for Santa. And that's great.
Yeah.
And that's probably the most Christmas this movie ever
I
was.
think the best part of that is that they steal it while the old lady manning the booth is just fast asleep.
Once again, this big ball of money really only had like $50 in it.
Yeah, I was like, that's a lot of work for not a lot of cash.
I know, but it's also '96. I mean, inflation has taken its toll.
Yeah, I
on
mean,
our
$50
perspective.
in 1996 is like
What,
$100,000 now.
I was gonna say, yeah, at least 300.
Do you have any favorite parts?
My favorite part was the telescope.
Just one.
I mean, and honestly, so the opening scene, the opening like fight scene where it was, I kind of didn't understand the movie at first because I was like, well, what is he doing right now? Is he like a thief or something? Hulk Hogan.
I thought he was like a special ops guy.
Yeah,
Like
someone who's really cool. So he's like breaking into this like mansion type area, and he's going through and he's beating up all these people. All these people come flying out to beat, and it's
the
great.
gardener, the cook.
Yeah, there's a cook, there's a gardener, there's the limo driver. There's basically everyone who would be employed by this mansion is coming out to protect it, and it was
Not a bodyguard or, like security detail. No.
They only hire the best
So
for
silly.
every position.
Chef comes running around the corner, screaming his head off with like a meat tenderizer. He gets his ass kicked, and then you realize that it's just kind of like this training thing that he has set up, and these are all of his friends.
4 minutes, 28 seconds, man.
I think so. I think that he needs a better workout than that. Lower his cholesterol. That was that was one of my favorite parts. That whole opening because I didn't get it. I got twisted.
That's a pretty good cold opening. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's a good way to intro the movie. But on top of that, when they go to rescue the children from the ne'er-do-wells, he brings along that squad with him, and they manage to get into the house by having the chef like prepare a nice like cheese plate, and they hold it. They hold it in front of the door. The goon looks through the peephole and says, "That looks good." Opens the door for him. And I think they had set up like some sort of electrical trap using the jumper cables in the car. That guy's probably dead.
Yeah, so he gets electrocuted when he opens the door.
The chef sets the cheese plate down, takes another look back at it, takes some, eats some, and like everyone that's walking in behind them starts taking cheese.
Just filing in, grabbing snack.
And what I noticed is the limo driver like held another hand underneath the cheese to make sure like you didn't leave any crumbs, because that's the nice thing to do when you're doing an operation.
You don't want to leave any cracker crumbs at the scene.
That'd be rude.
Yeah, there was a lot of little tiny stuff in this movie that was very enjoyable like that. That was good. Anything else before we rate, guys?
I have one thing to say, just because you brought that up. I do wish it probably would have felt a touch more Christmassy if Blake had thrown the Santa suit on at the end when he saved the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're just in
the
a
hat.
black setup, like black jumpsuit that was, intended for, I'm going to be a hero. But he should have threw the Santa costume back on.
Well, because what that would have shown, too, is that he has grown as a person. Now he's got these children in his life that he cares about because that suit was made for him. And then actually make this movie round out in a very Christmas fashion. Because Lenny, who was an elf, he eventually ditched all his stuff. He didn't have any Christmas attire. Like, it was just completely abandoned.
Yep.
Well, no, he put his elf hat back on when he saved Hulk.
Yeah, and he put, Hulk had his Santa hat on, but that's not enough.
How much? Okay, so the turnaround on this movie was from May to November, right? And as we discussed, that is a crazy fast way to develop a movie.
That's quick.
How much you want to bet that suit got ruined in a shot? And like they did not have time to put together a new one.
Well, I just assumed that Blake threw it out because he fell in the garbage.
Also true. It probably smelled like farts.
Very true.
So I was like, that's
spraying
awful. Dude, just throw it in the wash.
You
man.
dry clean it, you rich fuck.
Yeah.
An 11-year-old made that for you, and it was amazing.
Yeah, an 11-year-old orphan made that for you. You're just going to be like, it smells bad now.
And it makes your muscles look good, man.
Yeah.
You just didn't have time to wait for a load of laundry to finish, guys. You ever think about that?
He had plenty of time. Plenty of time. You wear the stinky suit.
He made that guy polish his garlic press before they went on the operation.
Very true.
True. Very true. Is it rating time? Anyone actually don't have any questions?
I actually do have a question.
All right, what do you got?
Why do you guys think this movie was a failure, aside from the obvious reasons? But, I mean, this is a very watchable movie. And for it to be such a failure seems weird to me.
I honestly feel like we are enjoying it ironically.
True.
While it's not a good Christmas movie, I also feel like it's not that great of a kid's movie. Because I feel like a kid would be too young to appreciate a lot of the stuff that we appreciated about it. And beyond that stuff, I don't think there's a whole lot more to appreciate.
There is nothing on face value on this
like
movie.
the kids really didn't get to do any cool stuff,
Yeah.
which is something that I would have appreciated when I was a kid. They didn't get any like sweet gadgets. They didn't go on any sweet missions. Like everyone was like, stay behind.
In 1996, I'm guessing kids probably didn't care that much about Hulk Hogan. That was more of like an older kid thing at that point.
Yeah.
Nah, I disagree with that.
Still a fan.
I think that Hulk Hogan, I mean, he's probably plateaued at his peak at this
Okay.
point. So his
Fair enough.
fame is solidified and awesome.
I was
Okay.
8 at the time of this movie, and I loved Hulk.
You were still into Hulk.
I
Okay,
was
fair
10,
enough.
so yeah, anyone my age probably would have loved Hulk for at least like 5 or 6 years.
All right,
That
fair
point.
enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think maybe the fact that they were hell-bent on making it a Christmas movie, releasing it around Christmas time to like push it like, hey, it's Santa with muscles, and then people went and were just disappointed with the lack of magic maybe, and then
be.
with like, okay, this is like really slapstick silly. It might be cool if this movie was either all in on Christmas or all out. Not like this weird middle ground where now I feel responsible for watching it a certain time of year, but now I don't really want to because I don't enjoy it in the same way as I do other movies like that.
The other thing is, it could have totally. I mean, I don't remember this movie being promoted at all. I can tell you, I remember Three Ninjas with Hulk being promoted. So maybe they just threw all their money at Hulk and just didn't bother putting any marketing in it.
Yeah, maybe they just thought, hey, we'll put Hulk Hogan in it, it'll sell itself.
Because Hulk gets paid, so he's not going to market it himself. You know, he's not going to promote it on WCW or WWF.
Yeah.
It's all the movie's job to promote it, and they already threw all their money at Hulk probably.
And Three Ninjas came out 2 years later.
Yeah.
2 years later. And which do we think was a better performance for Hulk? Which was better? Was Blake Thorne or Dave Dragon better?
I think I like this movie better.
I think I liked his performance in this one better. but his lines were just awful in this.
He got more screen time, that's
did.
for sure.
Yeah, I did probably like Hulk Hogan more in Santa with Muscles for sure, but there's no way that I liked this more than Three Ninjas. I'm pretty sure.
I'm conflicted. Very conflicted.
I don't know. Jim Varney, Three Ninjas was
Okay, so
Mega Mountain was a blast.
let's imagine we had the entire cast from Mega Mountain
Okay.
in this movie instead.
Oh man,
This would be fucking amazing.
yeah. Actually, I'm not. Maybe I'll go back. Maybe I don't like it way better. They're really close, but I don't know. I might have to give it to Three Ninjas. It's so bad.
I think I want to own this movie though.
On Blu-ray.
I don't want to own Three Ninjas.
I actually had a hard time finding this movie. I would have had to buy it. It wasn't on Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. It's on YouTube, but we didn't watch it on YouTube. We waited till this movie aired on television and we DVR'd it on Movieplex, and it worked out pretty well. We were like, oh man, I can't find Santa with Muscles anywhere, and we looked, and I was like, oh my god, it's playing Thursday morning at 9 a.m.
Record it.
DVR, thank you. But yeah, I think you can buy the DVD on like Amazon. So go do that if you really want to watch it.
Recommended, actually.
It's all right. On that note, let's rate it.
Let's
then.
go to ratings.
So let's rate it then.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
fuck
I'm gonna
you.
have to give it an unfortunate fuck off.
Oh my god, my fucking father.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
All right, let's rate Santa with Muscles, guys. 1996, Hulk Hogan. What are we gonna give it? Eric, I know you're itching to go.
I'm gonna give this a fuck yeah.
All right.
I honestly was not expecting to enjoy this movie as much as I did. Mm-hmm. You were like, yeah, we're watching Santa with Muscles. I was like, that's the Hulk Hogan one, right? Yeah, I guess it'll probably be all right. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this movie is just absurd. It's super cartoony. It's one of those kids' movies that's way more fun to watch as an adult because it makes no fucking sense. And you can just you just pick it apart and you're like, no, this is a piece of garbage for children. They're idiots. They'll buy anything.
Yep.
It's so much fun. This movie is a blast. I cannot wait to watch this again next year.
Yep.
And it's actually unseasonably hot here today, and I felt like this was an appropriate movie to watch.
Yeah, it is.
It's like 60
You're
degrees
wearing
out.
a Christmas sweater
I am
and it's like
sweating.
60 out.
I am so fucking hot.
I showed up in a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's crazy. Massachusetts in December should be cold, 60 degrees.
I should be miserable right now. It should be like 0 degrees.
You're a different type of miserable.
All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Tyler.
I think this movie was fucking ripping.
A ripping flick, man. Why?
Ripping flick. Because Hulk was ripped,
Yep.
and this movie was just fucking fantastic. I'm with Eric because I was like, you saw me watch the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, hey, it'll be all right. Like,
Yeah, you were a little disconcerted by the trailer.
I was on the edge of my seat from moment one in this movie. Like, I can't believe how good they opened this fucking movie up.
Yeah.
I was so concerned after seeing, like, the camera guy.
Oh, yeah.
But from that moment on, I was like, all in.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I believe it. Brittany?
I was gonna give it a fuck yes.
Okay, but...
I'll give it a fuck yeah.
Okay.
It was just pure ridiculousness. Just pure unadulterated absurdity.
Okay.
I would definitely recommend it
Yeah?
for that reason alone.
Who would we recommend this to? Like, what kind of person? What do you think? What kind of movie likers would like this movie?
I think if you're just into like it's so ridiculous that it's wildly entertaining type of movies, then yes.
Yeah?
I mean, no great effects to really show, no great writing, no great character development, but
If you want to have a good
Everything.
time,
Yeah.
call
everything
999.
everything about the plot is hilarious.
I would definitely recommend it to anyone that was anyone that was a kid in the 90s, I think would have a soft spot for this movie.
Yeah.
Just the vibe of it is like so absurd. And like watching stuff like this makes me realize how fucking weird the 90s were.
Yeah.
Because like shit like this was all over the place. Like we were just being fed this by adults that didn't know any better.
And adults were buying it because they didn't know any better.
Yeah.
For their kids who were like, why? And enjoying it too. So, I'm gonna go. I feel a little peer pressure, so I'm gonna give it a fuck yeah too. And I need to
You
cross.
said this like the last 3 episodes. You're like, I feel peer pressured.
I feel a little pressure because I want to cross-reference with my Three Ninjas rating, which I'm not sure was a fuck yeah. It might have been. I want to say it was, so I can hold this on the same plane and give it a fuck yeah as well. It was a lot of fun. It was a great time. Hulk Hogan, always good on screen. No matter how bad he is always good on screen. Like he's just a guy made for movies.
I feel
and
like
pictures.
his method of acting is like adult, childlike bewilderment and wonder at every single line he has to say.
It's all eyebrows and mustache, baby.
Like everything he says, he's discovering it for the first time.
He's like an excited puppy.
They don't give him the script until they're like rolling. And they're like, all right, go for it.
They just feed him lines off camera. He has to say them on the fly. That'd be so difficult.
That's why they shoot it that way, though.
Yeah,
They shoot every Hulk Hogan movie exactly the same way, and I bet it's because they feed him his lines.
it could be. I bet you. I bet you. There's 2 script supervisors. One to do their job. One to work on Hulk Hogan. For sure. Now, so we all gave it fuck yes except for Tyler. Is yours of a fuck yeah status?
It's higher than a fuck yes.
Oh, okay.
He broke our rating system.
Well, that's a fucking sweep then.
Then it's definitely a fucking sweep.
Hey, it's a fucking sweep and a half.
You're right. For Santa with muscles.
This is
So
our
bad.
most highly acclaimed movie.
I know.
So bad.
Are you kidding me? We watched some good pictures on here,
I'm looking at a Freeway DVD right now.
and this has our potentially highest rating yet.
I'm sorry. I totally skewed the scales.
It's all right. It's a fucking.
All right, we're gonna have to update the site.
Yep. All right.
Fix that page.
Good job, Tyler. You broke our site. Any final thoughts on Santa with muscles, guys? Final thoughts?
Don't stop and smell the roses.
Okay. First thing we learned from Santa.
It's Blake tip number 162.
Blake had a lot of rules. I think 358.
I wrote it down. 386.
386.
And the 386th rule, and I was totally lost on why he didn't have this rule before number 386, is never mix business with pleasure.
Oh my God. He made 385 rules before that one?
Before that one.
And I don't even understand really what made him think of that rule. Like,
Oh, the paintball thing. He had guests come up. I don't know.
was that it?
He was playing
Because he
paintball,
made
of
the
course.
rule up, and then they had all this dialogue, and then he got the paintball.
Well, his butler said your guests have arrived,
Oh,
and they were talking about his protein stuff or whatever.
okay.
Oh, yeah. That's
And
right.
then he was like, "Never mix business with pleasure." Rule number 380.
Chaz. Blah, blah, blah. New rule. All right, so that's it, guys, then, huh? No more final thoughts? We're done. We watched Santa with Muscles, gave it a fucking sweep, and
I look forward to watching this every year along with the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I'm buying it, and we're all gonna watch it every year.
all right, and we'll couple it with The Christmas Tree, which is another fantastically weird Christmas movie that's just
so good.
off-putting.
So good.
But yeah, if you want more information on Second Class Cinema,
Where do we go, Tom?
good question, Eric. You can go to facebook.com/secondclasscinema. You can also listen to us wherever you're listening to us now. You can also listen to us on Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, secondclasscinema.com, and followingfilms.com. And thanks, Tyler, for coming on
Thanks for having me.
again
Thanks
to
for
watch
coming back.
another Hulk Hogan picture.
Yeah, you'll have to have me again.
I feel like we'll be seeing you again real soon.
I got that funny feeling, too.
You guys can't get enough of me, I guess.
Part of the Tyler fan club.
Tyler with muscles.
Thanks for coming back, even though we do this.
Yep. Appreciate it. We actually squeezed in something that was probably... I mean, was this bad enough?
You guys pick like the best fucking movies for me. I feel bad for every other guest you guys have.
Us too.
We watch some real garbage sometimes.
Us too.
Radical Jack.
Yeah, because we watched all of that one. Watched about 10 minutes of it before we barfed. All right. Have a good afternoon. We're done.
What if they're not listening to this in the afternoon?
We always say good night, and no one ever listens to it at night.
How do you know?
I don't. And I'm the only one who listens.
I listen, Tom.
That's true. And it's mostly in the afternoon, isn't it?
Usually. Evening occasionally, though. On my ride home.
In the evening? Okay. All right. Well,
Good
fuck
night.
it.
Santa, I thought I missed you.
Yeah, if you hurry, you still can.
Do you have a minute?
Fax me, you little brat.
Second class.